Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? I just really wanted to, first and foremost, shout out to Alan Roger Currie because he came up with the idea of MODE-1. But I really wanted to address like a few things, and mainly because somebody had enough nerve to say that tricking is MODE-1. No, tricking is not MODE-1. It's not MODE-1, okay? And that's not just based on Alan Roger Currie's definition of MODE-1. That's just based on my experience, and I guess in a contextual form, we just call it MODE-1. You know, tricking is just manipulation, okay? It's just manipulation. And I'll talk about that in the upcoming live stream, where I will be talking specifically about manipulation, given the date of this video. So look out for that. I might put a link for it in the comment section of this video here once that live stream has been completed. But no, tricking is not MODE-1, okay? Tricking is just another form of manipulation, because based on Alan Roger Currie's definition of MODE-1, at least from the best of my knowledge and my perspective, MODE-1 just means that you have a direct approach. Now, this is not the same as code approach. Direct approach just represents a certain type of code approach, in my opinion, amongst the feminine gender. Okay? Now, you have the direct approach and the indirect approach in regards to code approach. Yeah, so the indirect approach is pretty much the tricking. So MODE-1 is definitely not about tricking. Now, based on what Alan Roger Currie said, tricking falls under the guise of MODE-2. And of course, there have been guys that have been frustrated by all of these categories that Alan Roger Currie has created, per se, or invented, however way you want to look at it. But it's just pretty much his own perspective of a lot of things that guys been saying. He's just made it more streamlined. And you know, you don't have to necessarily agree with what he has streamlined. That's why I don't get all the arguments out here. That's just one man's perspective of the same thing that you're saying, you know, and it's not that you're really disagreeing. You just have your own perspective, but you're coming off as someone that disagrees. That's why I never believed in this idea of disagreeing. I really don't. We just all have perspectives, you know. Once we realize that everybody has their own perspective of things, this would be a better world to live in. But anywho, MODE-1 to me is definitely based on because what I heard Alan Roger Currie say, you know, he was saying like MODE-1 is similar to tricking, but without any monetary incentives to get casual sex. So once again, he said, and if you're listening to this, Alan Roger Currie, hopefully I'm saying this correctly. He's saying that MODE-1 is basically similar to tricking, but without any monetary incentives in order to get casual sex. But when you say it's similar to tricking, that takes away the idea that MODE-1 is MODE-1. Because MODE-1, to me, in my opinion, should never be associated with tricking. It should never be similar to tricking. Either it's tricking or it's not tricking. Now, you might have somebody that be saying the cliche, it ain't tricking if you got it. Dude, you got it to trick with, okay? Trick. Come on now. You tricking for a treat. Come on, man. It ain't tricking if you got it, but you got it in order to get a treat. You got the trick for the treat. You know what I'm saying? It's your trick. It's your, how can we put this, man? Because it's like a fair exchange. You know what I'm saying? You got a treat for her. And I guess that's your form of tricks, you know, but I'm going too heavy in that. That's for the live stream coming up in regards to manipulation. I'll break that down more when that time comes. But see, to me, MODE-1 should be primal. It should be primal. And I wish that's how Alan Roger Currie would have explained that definition of what mode 1 should be. Okay. And maybe he had this in mind, but given the backlashes he's been dealing with lately, maybe it's been hard for him to kind of put certain words together, because I understand where he's coming from. Unlike a lot of people who want to treat what he has to say as pretty much outdated, I understand where Alan Roger Currie is coming from as far as kind of some of the ways a man can come at a woman very direct. I know what that's like. That's something that I've been about, okay? Not that I'm pretty much telling you everything about me, but I've always been direct, okay? That's just part of my persona, you know? But it should be primal. It should be primal. And so I get what Alan Roger Currie said as far as, okay, within the first 5 minutes or so of you talking with a feminine gender, you know, there's definitely this idea that she wants to have sex with you. She'll determine that within the first 5 minutes. And to me, this is something that can be in a virtual space or a realistic space, because the feminine gender, you got to remember, she's part of the yin. The yin is emotional. So it don't take much to tickle her fancies if you know where she's ticklish at. You know what I mean? Keep that in mind, fellas. But it should be primal. Mode 1 should be primal. So if anything, I want anybody to get from this video here about mode 1, and maybe Alan Roger Currie, if you're checking this video out, shout out to you once again, just in case I didn't shout out to you initially. Mode 1 should be primal. I get what you're saying, brother. Of course, to me, you OG, because you older than me. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to get at is, you know, yes, mode 1 should be primal. It should not be similar to tricking. You know what I mean? It should not be similar to tricking. Okay? Tricking, I get that. Let that be mode 2. But mode 1 should be mode 1. It should not be associated with tricking. Mode 2, we can say tricking. Because, you know, mode 1 should represent that direct approach. So no tricking associated with that. Mode 2, that's tricking, indirect, because of the monetary incentive that showed up in the midst of that. We get that. That makes sense. But I'm just saying, direct approach should never be similar to tricking. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say as far as beyond mode 1, as I titled this video. Beyond mode 1 is pretty much thinking beyond what I heard Alan Roger Currie say about his idea of mode 1. And basically, as a summary, just to wrap this up, you know, mode 1 should be primal. That's what I mean by beyond mode 1. Because it should not even be quoted as saying that it's similar to tricking. Either it's tricking or it's not tricking. You know what I mean? If it's tricking, then to me, it's no longer mode 1. I'm just saying. Let me know what y'all think about that. Signing out.